We got New Mexico going on the road to take on UNLV. It's a 1 p.m. Mountain Time game on Mountain West Network. If you're a Lobo fan, you might get frustrated because uh, the past couple of weeks, the way New Mexico's been playing, you have to feel like that would warrant, a national broadcast type of game. Lobos now 5-3 on the season, 2-2 in conference play, one game away from bowl eligibility. Taking on a UNLV team, 6-1 on the season, 2-1 in conference play. Uh, New Mexico, rolling off their best victory against Utah State, where they controlled from start to finish. Meanwhile, UNLV coming off their worst and only loss of the season to Boise State, who just has had their number the past few years, despite their progression in play. UNLV comes in this game 5.5 point favorites. The over/under on this is 62.5. These are two teams that win in seemingly completely different ways. New Mexico, you would say that at least on the appearance, that they don't have any all stars on their team. They don't have any studs, big star recruits. Most of these are FCS guys. UNLV was able to get a ton of name recognition in the transfer portal. Got some big power conference guys in. Both of them have found ways to win. They win in a multitude of ways. A mixed bag for New Mexico. Started off relying on the running game. They've shown to be effective passing of late. Jack Lane has progressed as the weeks gone by after a little bit of a slip up in between. He's got 1,598 yards on the season, 9 touchdowns, 8 picks on the season. Damon Bankston emerges their number one running back, 410 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns. Meanwhile, for UNLV, it's crazy because it feels like their season has taken a huge step back, but they've only lost one game on the season, and that's to the current reigning Mountain West title champs in Boise State. Anthony Calandra comes to this game, 1,600 yards passing, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Jaden Thomas is still their workhorse, 615 yards through the ground, 7 rushing touchdowns. Obviously, UNLV's defense, it's odd that they give up so many points, in all their games this season, but they're plus 10 on the turnover ratio, and they make crucial stops, and usually they're able to capitalize them. They weren't able to as much against Boise State, but the rest of the season they've been able to capitalize on turnovers, and that's how they've sort of pulled out these close games in their favor. New Mexico, meanwhile, is they're minus 11 on the turnover ratio, and yet they've won in spite of that. In a way, you would say if New Mexico can tighten up those mistakes and miscues, which they did against Utah State, they can play effective football, and we've seen that most recently. New Mexico's averaging 29 points per game, meanwhile UNLV 37. But when you get in a game against the Lobos, you sort of throw that out the window. And for UNLV as well, they've put up 37 points, but they've also given up a lot of points. So this is a game. It's going to be interesting to see the contrast in a team that was projected by many not to be in this position, and a team in UNLV that was, they're exactly where they're supposed to be. I think the key to this game is going to be the Lobos on offense, being able to run effectively, but also limiting turnovers. This is not a team where you can have those types of turnovers and expect to win the game. They will take advantage of it. Amaris Brown has 4 picks on the season. Marcel McDuffie, he can force a fumble here and there. So definitely for the Lobos, certainly cautious with Jack Lane's play, his throws, and just those turnovers that can be so costly when you're on the road and you're taking on the number one turnover team in UNLV. As for UNLV, Calandra's played really well. Jaden Thomas has played incredibly well. They're a tough team to stop from scoring, and I don't know if you can. You can try and limit it a little bit, but you're definitely going to have to match score for score because Calandra, he's, dual threat quarterback. His feet have been his biggest weapon this season, oddly enough. Jaden Thomas, when he gets going and finds a wide open hole, he's taking advantage of it, and you're probably not going to stop him. So certainly you need to keep Calandra in the pocket if you're New Mexico. I think Thomas is going to have his stats. He's going to get downfield, but if you can force a 3-and-out here and there, that's a huge win for New Mexico. Seeing as the fact that UNLV really hasn't been able to cover all year long. They've been in close matchups. Leans to this being a close game. I could see it being tightly contested throughout, and maybe UNLV is able to pull off one of those fourth quarter wins that they're so accustomed to this season. Great matchup. My only gripe is that this should be a nationally televised game. Great game nonetheless. It's New Mexico going on the road to take on UNLV. It's a 1 p.m. Mountain Time game on the Mountain West Network. Be sure to check this one out.